Hey guys, Raw Ninja here. In today's video, we're going to be doing an HTC Vive and Oculus Rift breakdown. But for all the little kiddies out there, this is what it's going to be like when you're in your headset playing. So you're going to be in the thing, you're going to be smashing red and blue bubbles, you're going to be killing people, and next thing you know, you're going to be like this. Hey guys, welcome back. Raw Ninja here, bringing you a brand new video. This time over on my channel, I had a request for my opinion and what I really thought on the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive. Which one's better, game-wise, price, how to hook it up, and my own initial opinion on virtual reality itself. Virtual reality era has officially begun with the launch of the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. But which platform should you bet on? The Rift starts out at $599 with a slick design and a large catalog of games and a cheaper price tag compared to the Vive, which is $799. It has impressive room tracking technology and virtual controllers and a weird, unique camera for your eyes. The design of both of them, neither the Vive nor the Rift is the most fashionable piece of hardware, but if you had to hit the runway with one of these devices strapped to your heads, we prefer the Rift. From anyone that I've spoken to, it has a smooth, sleek, minimalist design that boasts clean lines and gentle curve, and it kind of looks like a headset from an anime classic, Ghost in the Shell. The Vive has a funky sci-fi design that's intriguing, but strategically placed photo sensors gives the impression that the headset is still in a prototype phase compared to the Rift's polished, consumer-ready presentation. So one looks cheap, one looks like not ass. But what puts the Rift over the top are the built-in headphones that fold down and gently press onto your ears to deliver an impressive audio-visual experience. So that's a really good feature for people that don't have a higher-end headset, or don't want to shell out $700 or $600 or however much, $599 to $799 for this VR, and then not be able to have impressive sound for it. People looking to use the Vive will have to supply their own headphones, which is nice if you have a favorite pair of buds or cans, but ultimately it is another piece of hardware you're adding to your whole setup. For those two, the winner would be the Oculus, in my opinion. Overall, the Rift's design is more polished and consumer ready than the Vive's. Having built-in audio system is always a huge plus for anybody's boat. Next, we're going to talk about what comes inside the box when you buy this. Each headset is the launch with an assorted bag of goodies to enhance your virtual reality. When it ships in early April, the Vive will include a headset, a pair of handheld trackpad controllers, which are really neat in my opinion, 2 base stations, which provide 360-degree motion tracking using lasers and infrared. However, if you don't want to drill holes in your walls or mount the base stations on a high bookshelf, you'll have to spring for a pair of camera or lighting tripods, which is really kind of a pain in the ass for me because I'm doing green screen and you have to have special lighting and a backdrop and all that. So that alone, on top of everything else you have to have if you're a professional gamer or anything like that, is just a real pain. And then people that are going for the Rift will get a headset, a sensor, a remote, the cables, and an Xbox One controller. Notably absent from the Rift's inventory are the wireless touch controllers that the company's been demoing since last September, which won't be available until an unspecified date in 2016. Because most games are created for the Rift are programmed to work with the traditional controller, Oculus founder Palmer Luckey decided to cut costs. I don't know if I said that name right, and I do apologize. Decided to cut costs and offer the touch controllers at a later date. Out of those, the winner would be the Vive, because the Vive gives consumers everything they want right out of the box instead of making them wait and pay for more down the line. Specs and features for both the Vive and the Rift have nearly identical specs. They both include a 2160 by 1200 OLED display with 90 MHz refresh rates, HDMI support, and USB 2.0 and 3.0 ports. For anyone going to use these, if you already have it, I highly recommend using 3.0. It's going to give you the fastest rate for anything that you want to do. So if you're using a game like that for like recording, you want to use 3.0. Just like with my Gato and everything else, you want to use the fastest possible to give you the best for your buck. The few key differences are found in the sensors and tracking areas. The Rift features an accelerometer. damn, dude, I'm having trouble. Gyroscope and magnometer, and a 360-degree positional tracking. The Vive swaps out the magnometer for a laser position sensor and front-facing camera. Most of the Rift's experiences are seated affairs, meaning it doesn't need more than 5 by 11 feet of space to operate properly. The room mapping for the Vive needs a bit more space for users to walk around, which is why the headset needs an area by 15 by 15. See, in my personal opinion on either one of those, 5 by 11, that seems about right considering I have the Kinect and you need quite a bit of room for like Dance Central or any of the other gay like Fruit Ninjas. But 15 by 15 is quite a lot. There's some rooms that aren't even 15 by 15. So my winner at either one of those would be the Vive. Despite requiring a lot more space than the Rift, the Vive's front-facing camera laser position system will let you walk around the room without becoming the victim of an unfortunate pratfall. For those with not a high-end computer, or you want to know the requirements for PC, Oculus Rift, HTC, and the Valve made it pretty clear that you will need a powerful laptop or desktop to support your virtual adventures, which goes on top of everything else you have to spend for, and for one or the other, more on top of that, now you have to have a really high-end computer to run this. On the laptop front, both headsets will require an Intel i7 67HK processor, at least 8 GB of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce 9TX 980 GPU, 2 USB 3.0 ports, an HDMI 1.4, and a 19 by 20 by 1080 display, and Windows 7 or higher. There are a few key differences for desktop, namely RAM requirements and ports. The Vive can function with a minimum of 4 gigs and either an HDMI 1.4 or Display 1.2, and at least one USB 2.0. The Rift requires 8 GB of RAM, an HDMI 1.3, and 3 USB 3.0 ports plus 1 USB 2.0 port. So my pick out of either one of those would be the Vive. Although both headsets require higher-end systems to operate, the Vive requirements are less taxing on your wallet compared to the Rift. Would be the best way to put that. Because, as you know, I did a setup guide on my PC and everything a while back, and I'll say it again, my computer, it's a high-end computer, but it's not as high-end as most people that are true, like, I gotta have this tech, I'm a techie. My computer was about $1,800 after shipping and handling and my warranties and all that. So that tells you right there. And my Intel i7 is in 6700. It's a 40-something hundred processor. I have more RAM than needed. My graphics card's better than that, and I have everything else, but my i7's not as high, so I could probably still run it, but it might not run it at the full maximum. The next thing we're going to talk about is motion tracking. Each headset has its own method of motion tracking. Valve's Lighthouse base stations bounce lasers onto the light sensor strategically placed onto the Vive and the controllers. It's an ideal methodological for room tracking, but for it to work, the two base stations must be mounted on the wall, placed on a pair of tripods or on a bookshelf. You must also ensure that you have enough space, at least 6 feet by 5 feet by 6 inches, and enough electrical outlets for a minimum of 7 to properly utilize the room tracking technology. Otherwise, you'll be forced to use a standing only setup. But where's the fun in that? Oculus motion tracking solution called Constellation employs an optical sensor connected to your desktop or laptop via USB hub, making Oculus more suited for a VR experience. My clear winner would be the Vive. Although setting up the Vive will be more of a hassle for you guys, it's worth it for the ability to physically walk around in an area in virtual reality. Because what the hell is the point of putting on that $800 or $600 headset and sitting on your ass like you normally would with a controller? The next thing we're going to talk about is Chaperone. Both the Rift and the Vive enable immersive 360-degree field of view experiences. Vive, however, enables you to walk around and explore this new space utilizing Valve's proprietary Chaperone technology. Leveraging room tracking capabilities, the Rift will project a blue-green grid when you're getting too close to a wall or other errant furniture or pet. Valve has taken its safeguard technology to the next level with the front camera showing the outside world in an inky blue tint, saving you from crashing into any nearby obstacles. The Valve camera can also be accessed by double tapping a button on the controller. This comes in handy in case you need to find something in the room and would rather keep the headset on. Chaperone is also coming to the Rift, but in a limited capacity. You'll still get the Tron-like grid, but when you get too close to a boundary, which grants the headset a level of mobility it previously lacked. However, without a camera, you lose out the pass-through ability. So my clear winner would be the Vive. The Vive's camera, with its pass-through ability, gives the headset a distinct advantage over the Rift by an increasingly, that's not even a word, I'm awful, don't listen to me guys, in the video now, by a large margin. The Rift providing a glimpse of the outside world for your safety and mundane tasks like finding a lost remote in VR. The next big thing, which is a really cool feature in my opinion, is phone integration. Just because it's tethered to your PC doesn't mean your VR headset won't work with your smartphone. When it launches, the Vive will have the ability to synchronize with your phone over Bluetooth to answer calls and messages while in VR land. That means if you're a gamer husband like me, and your wife wants you to go do the dishes or won't leave you the hell alone because she's clingy and you love, shout out, I love you, but that means you can still answer your calls and texts without having to take it off. Oculus lacks a similar feature. So my winner, in that opinion, no matter what, is always going to be the Vive. Having the ability to answer text or phone calls without removing the headset is an amazing feature. I'm talking to my great bud Meltdown, and I think that should be an ability to plug into your Xbox. So when you're playing, if you don't want to give caller ID to the Xbox and stuff, just integrate more social features that people want. The biggest thing we're going to talk about out of everything besides PC specs and price would be games. Each device will ship with a pair of games at launch. The Rift will debut with the colorful platforming adventure title Lucky's Tale and multiplayer galactic shooter Valkyrie. For a limited time, Vive will come with a darkly iconic sandbox title called Job Simulator, 3D art program Tilt Brush, and a surprisingly addictive building game called Fantastic Contraption. Even better, most of the VR games living in the Steam store can be used by the Vive and the Rift thanks to Valve's open source Steam VR platform. Also, the games shipping with Vive at launch you'll have more than 42 titles available as of now, including Elite Dangerous, Budget Cuts, Hover Junkers, and Arizona Sunshine. Oculus Rift has promised more than 100 games available for the Rift this year, including Minecraft, Rock Band, Edge of Nowhere, and Oculus also promises at least 20 Rift exclusive titles. That's a big thing for me. If you were going to pick game-wise, if you were just solely going off games, and the price and everything else wasn't an issue to you, or any additional things you might have to have, exclusive titles are a big thing. That's why I like the Xbox more than the PS4 right now. So your winner would have to be the Oculus. Do you expect Valve to have the upper hand when it comes to games, no matter what, since its massive catalog of PC titles? However, your Oculus has been hard at work building a formidable catalog for its impending PC launch. Securing a few platform-exclusive titles is an excellent strategy for bringing gamers to the fence to its side, but only if you want AAA quality games. You don't want no shitty-ass games you can play without a headset for 1/3 the price. Your price and value is the next thing we're going to talk about. At first glance, this seems like a no-brainer. $599 for the Oculus Rift, compared to that's cheaper than the HTC Vive for $799. However, the Vive is bundling its pair of virtual controllers with the system in additional to 3 free games. Rift fans will have to wait for a later date to be announced for the touch controller and pay a yet to be determined price for it, which could be an additional, I'm going to say $100 a piece, depending on, I'd say about $150, because the Kinect's about $150, and those do a lot more than the Kinect will ever do. So my winner out of those two would be the Vive. The Vive is much more expensive than the Rift at launch, but ships the virtual controllers, while the Rift fans will have to settle for a normal janky controller. Last but not least is the bottom line. Showing this on paper, there's no question the HTC Vive is superior virtual reality headset. Although it's pricier than the Oculus Rift, it's shipping with 3 free games and 2 VR controllers. Plus, it allows wearers to physically walk around their spaces comfortably which creates a much more immersive experience. The chaperone technology in the camera will make you sure that you don't trip over an end table while you're exploring distant lands. Even better, the Vive can sync with your phone, allowing you to answer it without removing the headset. Keep in mind that the Rift is best when you have plenty of space to accommodate the Vive's parts. Apartment dwellers and people who own smaller houses may encounter difficulty allotting the minimum play space. So we're going to reiterate everything we talked about. Design-wise, Oculus Rift's a winner. For what's included, HTC Vive. Specs, HTC Vive. PC requirements, the HTC Vive. Chaperone, you want to pick the HTC Vive. Phone integration, which this is just going off of launch, would be the HTC Vive. Gameplay or games, definitely the Oculus Rift, based on they've got a pretty strong lineup coming out for launch. Price value, we're going HTC Vive. So if you're going at the numbers here, 7 on the Vive side, 2 on the Rift. However, the Oculus Rift is cheaper with the better looking design, would potentially boast a game catalog over 100 titles where the headset can win the VR war. Oculus has been consistently praised for the quality and quantity of its content in upcoming titles like Rock Band and Minecraft, like I already talked about. Only help to cement the goodwill owned by Facebook, Oculus will probably also have some social experiences up its sleeve that we haven't seen yet. The headset's mostly sedentary use case makes it ideal for people that don't have the real estate to spare for the Rift. Plus, the Rift is fully operational on Steam VR, so those hungry for more VR adventures can tap into both libraries. Even after the touch controller shipped, I think I should shit, and I apologize, shipped, the Rift still won't match the Vive pound for pound in terms of capabilities, but Oculus could win the war if it has the better game and content catalog. That's everything you need to know about making your decision on the Vive and Oculus Rift. If I could and I had the money, I would get both to compare. I know that seems like a really techie and really nerdy thing to say, but out of sheer terms, in the long run, I would say I'd probably get the Oculus Rift. I have the space. My computer can meet the requirements easy. I don't mind if I have to wait or to use an Xbox controller. I know the touch things would be amazing, but if you can afford all that, I'm sure you can afford the additional few $100, in my opinion. And Oculus Rift, I feel, is going to make a really, really, really big, strong break here soon, and especially at this year's E3 with a lot of VR games. So just imagine in a year or so from now, you want to pick up Call of Duty 2055, where we're in space times the future divided by 7, and you put that headset on and you jump straight into whatever new map they got, or Nuketown 44, or you want to play Witcher and you hop right into whatever side quest you're doing, or jump right into Far Cry, or could you imagine jumping into Halo's multiplayer? And just think, they could even take it a step further. And what if they gave you something like a Kevlar vest, so when you're playing a first-person shooter, you took damage and it kind of shocked you, just enough like the shock challenge stuff, so it wouldn't actually physically kill you, but you would feel like you actually got hurt. Alright guys, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think on the Vive or the Oculus Rift. Let me know what you would prefer. Let me know if your computers can run it, if it's too pricey, which one you want better games for. What do you think of the phone integration? Do you have enough space in your house? Just let me know. As always guys, I'm Raw Dog, and I will keep you updated with more.